Okay, Edith, what you're looking at is kind of the back end of your credit report, and you can see here we've got your three scores at 620, 625, and 676. And I understand from Joe that your objective is to get your scores above 650. That being the case, we've already got one that's over 650, and so in most cases, it would only be one other bureau that we would need to get above 650, and so your mid score would be above 650, which would be the TransUnion score. So what I'm going to do is concentrate on TransUnion. We can go ahead and look at Experian as well, but I'm going to start with TransUnion, and we're going to go in here and see just run through lots of different scenarios. That's kind of what this is called, the what if simulator. And so the first thing we're going to do is remove all your disputes, because disputed accounts are not being calculated into your algorithm. So this particular collection here, $1,342, is not being factored into your score. So we have to remove that first to see if it's going to change your score. It doesn't, so that's good. So it did not, by removing the dispute and actually bringing that collection into the algorithm, did not hurt your score. So that's good news. I think you had another one down here. I know this one's not going to affect it because it's zero balance. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way. All right. It says here that your scores are going to drop to 620 within the next 30 days. So we need to keep that in mind. That's what it's factoring in if everything stayed the same. So hopefully by the changes we're making here. Now, Joe suggested first to add trade lines, to look at that to see if that's going to help you. So I'm going to simulate adding that $22,500 credit line, and he said it was approximately 5 years seasoned. And so let's look and see if that helps you. And it helps you a little bit, 632. But again, the cost of doing that is, I don't know the exact cost, but I know it's not cheap to do that. And it's only giving you 7 points. I think he was going to add two others at the $5,000 range. Again, seasoned for approximately 5 years. And we look at that and we see that adding that second one does not help. And I'm going to guess adding the third one is not going to help either, but we'll go ahead and just run that since that was the projection or the plan, at least to test out. And we see that that does not help you, okay? So based on cost benefit analysis, the cost of doing that versus your benefit, we'll see when we get finished here with all the other things that we can do, but I don't think that's a great move for you, okay? I really don't think that's a good way to use your cash. So I'm gonna go back to those things, or let's just start over. I guess I shouldn't start it all the way over. Let me remove the disputes again. Can't really do anything until we do that. So we're gonna go through that little exercise again. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is look at your existing balances on your revolving accounts. That's usually a place that we can get some activity or some benefit on your score. So I see here this I guess it's a JP Morgan card. You're at 50%. So I'm going to drop this down to like a $200 balance and see if that helped. And you see that you did get some substantial points by paying down that card. So let's go all the way down to like $20 and let's see if we get any more points. Let me see where the sweet spot is. So we got 12 points. I'm just going to keep going up because we don't want you to pay off any more than you have to get what you're looking for. So $400 balance, or paying it down to $400, is where the sweet spot is. If you do this within the next 30 days, it only guarantees this. When I say guarantee, it doesn't guarantee exactly 12 points, but it's going to be pretty close, maybe more, maybe a little less, but it's going to be close. And it's usually dead on. you're going to get 12 points. Now, here's another balance that's fairly high. So I'm going to go down to like $300 on this one to see if it helps us. It does not. I'm going to go all the way down to $20, and it did not help us. So this one here, you might not want to mess with, okay? Because it really doesn't give you any bang for the buck. I know you got to pay it off at some point, and so that's fine. This one here, I'm going to guess that paying this one down is not going to help us either, and it does not. So we pretty much have the strategy as far as paying down credit cards. This one, your JP Morgan card, is where your biggest bang for your buck is going to be. All right, we're still not to where we need to be though. All right, so the next thing we're going to look at is paying off collections. Okay, and so we look at the simulating paying off this collection. We get nothing for that, so we don't want to do that. But let's go aggregate and see if we get some points by paying them all off. Let me go and see if you have any other collections on here. Collection. Okay, here's a charge off. Now this one here is probably where you're going to see. Of course, it's $2,800, and you see that's where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck, is getting that particular account paid. Okay, now say, well, gosh, if I could have paid that, I already would have. So let's just start over, knowing that that's where a lot of your points are going to be. Again, let me get rid of the disputes. All right, so I'm going to go back to this, and instead of paying it off, you have the option, to see if the credit repair services helped you previously can actually remove this account. So if we remove it, you can see that it goes up, quite a bit, not as much as paying it off. Okay, but now let me go back to paying down this to $400. Let's see where we're at. All right, so we're up to $658. So those are your two biggest bang for the bucks, is paying down the JP Morgan card and either paying off or getting the charge off removed. Okay. Now, if we did some of these other things, like, let me see, but adding a new account at this point, let's go back to that and let's see what we can do there and see if that helps at all. And you see it actually dropped your score. So we don't want to do that. So the authorized user really does not have a tangible benefit for you. All right. So let me see if we removed all of the collections while we're at it. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this one. Where's the other one? We deleted those two, and here's one here. All right, so you see, by removing all of the collections, even though those small ones, your score goes all the way up to 678. By removing one of the collections, then the charge off, you got above 650. So that would be your strategy. The simplistic aspect of it is concentrate on this Texan credit charge off and paying down the JP Morgan card. And then if to get more points, the other two collections, if those can be removed, then of course you've got all the way up to 678. But again, all three of them would have to be removed. It would have to be an aggregate effect to get the 678. Just the charge off and paying down the account is going to get that score above 650. Now, all this would have to be done within the next 30 days to get for this assessment to be accurate. Not to say that if it took you longer, it's still not going to work, but these are based on 30-day increments because your credit scores change or they're updated every 30 days. Okay. Now let's go over to your Experian model, and let's just see over there let's run these same actions because we know those actions worked on TransUnion and that gave us the maximum points. So what we're going to do, instead of going through the whole thing over here about paying them off and so forth, let's just go to the same, replicate the same model. So we see we get 22 points by simply paying down the JP Morgan card. Let's see on this one if it gives you even more by paying it down more. It does. All right, you get a few more points by paying down the JP Morgan card. Let me see where your sweet spot is on this one. Let's go to 200. So 200, let's go to 300. And then 400. So 300, so paying down an extra 300 gives you a few more points on your experience. Now, again, by having 2 bureaus above 650, you should be fine. But if you want to do all 3 and get them all 3 above that point, would be the way to do it. So you're paying off the JP Morgan card. Now let's go target that charge off, even if it may not even be showing up on this particular bureau. Which is a good thing. Yeah, I don't see it. I do not see the charge off listed on your experience. So that was only on your TransUnion that we've looked at so far. So let's see if we can get another. Oh, I see what's going on here. Let me back up. Okay. Let's go here. Let's go 400. Okay. Please forgive me. This was already done. I didn't start over at the very beginning. This had already factored in the collections being removed. So paying that down to 300 gives you 4 points, not 24 or 26 points. So please strike all that stuff I said before, because that was actually factoring in removing the collection. So I'm going to look at, we know that paying down the collections is not going to be an option. That would be dumb to do, and it's not going to really help you. So we're going to simulate removing the collections. And we see that by removing all 3 of them, we get up to 646. So that's going to be the max there, I think, is 646. I think even paying off all of these other credit cards, I don't think it gets you any more points. I'm not touching your installment accounts because paying those down will not help you. So I already know that. So let me pay this one down to 20 and see. So 646 is the most we can get. Let me see what happens in a month. Stand by. So even after a month of doing that, we're still at 646. So if we do the same action on Experian, which obviously whatever you do on one would select on all of them, 646 is as high as we're going to get right now. Okay. So, but we've got 1 bureau above 650, and then the Equifax is above 650 already. So we don't even need to look at Equifax. Okay. So I hope that helps. So basically your strategy is to remove the charge off of the TransUnion model and then pay down that JP Morgan card to $400. And then if the other collections can be removed as well, then that's going to give you the 678 score on TransUnion. And then you already have a 676 on Equifax, and you should be fine. If you want to go ahead and do Experian and get it up to 646 with the same, basically with the same objective by getting rid of all 3 collections. Okay, if you have any questions, just let me know. Hope that helps. Thank you.